Right, this is sort of a brief explanation of what we're doing with the stem on Gala. Kind of started because it became quite obvious that this top filler piece wasn't obviously very deep into the boat. That was it really. And essentially it was just fixed with 2 screws here, and then a lot of sealant, silicone type sealant, and there had been sort of some repair work done here where the very front of it had gone, and it was sort of messy and not done very well at all, and I couldn't live with it. So started off routering out the repair that had been done here badly, realised just that this was what it was, and decided that actually I wanted to take this out and put a longer piece in, which is kind of what we've done. So we got this bit out, and the next bit down. So this is a bit of the original, well, as far as we know, original stem, which was down in here, sat below that bit. So it sat in there. An iron fixing bolt had gone through here, which is why it has this iron sickness in here. But the main reason really that I decided to take this out was the top of it is essentially epoxy, and the fixings that were into it were essentially loose. We couldn't tighten them up, and once we got it out, of course, we found this. But the other part of the issue was that yeah, we were a bit concerned that the fixings weren't holding on the front, and we didn't have a lot of room to put new ones in. It turned out that once we got this out, that these rear bronze fixings are actually through riveted, so they go through one plank, through the stem, and then through the other plank. So there actually wasn't any way that the planks could have sprung at the front. I don't think it would have changed my mind about doing this, but it is kind of nice to know that they actually can't spring out easily. Anyway, we decided to get this out, cut this out, and replace it. And I'm actually really glad that we did that. It also turned out that some of these fixings, these guys are, I guess you'd call them dumps really, but what they seemed to be was bolts, regular threaded bolts, bronze or brass bolts with their heads cut off and pinged over and then just driven in. But there were so many of them driven in up here that it split. Oddly enough, it doesn't show. It does show on this one. So on this one, it just split the timber apart, which is why they've got no grip at all. So it was the right thing to get this out. I'm glad we did it. And originally, the piece that goes in here, I thought, right, well, I'll just tenon it into that so it gives it some lateral location. And then realised that there's been an old stem repair. I mean, it is a very old repair done on her because she impacted something at some point. And I still can't figure out how they did the repair. But essentially that's the bottom of this upper piece. That's all that's left of it. From there down, as far as I can tell, is a replacement piece. So I've now decided that I'm going to take out the very front of this section down to here, which will allow me to get these front fixing bolts out. I'm not going to go far enough back. I will leave the through rivets in place because they're there. I can't, unfortunately, replace the stem full depth without dismantling the front of the boat. So what I've decided to do is I'll take the front 70 millimeters, 3 inches out of this, drop the piece down. The top piece will then come, it will be about 4 foot long, which will enable us then to plug these holes, clean all the holes up, and refasten into the front new timber that will be on the front. It's a bit unfortunate that it wasn't done when the deck was off, because it just would have been so much easier to have dealt with. But I think what we're doing is okay. It is very tempting to keep going, but I think really, as bad as this piece of wood looks, it is still fairly solid, and it will get sandwiched between the new stem front, or behind the new stem front, and so it should get us another 10 or 15 years down the road if needs be, and we'll make a plan on doing the stem repair properly at some point. But I think it will mean releasing the planks at the front and spreading them to allow us to do that repair properly, which is something that at the moment it just isn't feasible to do. So it's a get her back in the water and get her down the road in a few more years repair, which I'm happy with, and it's sort of stuff that was done through the life of these old boats. Really, the repairs were done to keep them going. So that's kind of what we're doing, and at some point either we or the next owners will have the joy of doing a full stem replacement. But so that's kind of what we're doing, and we'll come back to it when I've got a bit farther along. So hopefully that makes a bit of sense, and thanks for watching. Bye.